Been on the internet for a long time. Seen a lot of stuff. And one thing that's pissed me off more than anything is people who went to school, I guess college or whatever the fuck, and they have that chip on their shoulder thinking they like superior or some shit to this regular folk who didn't go. I mean, if we think of it like this, there's two types of people. There's educated people, and then there's learned people. You know, you can be one or the other or a little bit of both, but it really comes down to this. You know, let's talk about educated people. So educated people are people who go to like an institution to get their knowledge. You know, they go to fucking Yale and Harvard and fucking university and shit, and that's where they get their stuff. But being educated comes with, let's say, some risks. That's probably the best way to put it. So the risks are indoctrination. You know, being educated is being learned, but with some extra shit thrown in that isn't necessarily necessary. That's kind of a poor way to put it, but you know what I'm saying. So we can think of it like this. You go to college, you get a degree in, I don't fucking know, underwater basket weaving or whatever the hell you want to do. And then they teach you some other things like, you know, fucking communist indoctrination type shit. Like there's always a struggle between the races or some other retarded ass bullshit like third wave feminism. Trust me, I got fucking retarded ass friends who believe in that shit, and they probably need to be thrown off a helicopter. But hey, that's just what I hope anyway. And then you got people who are learned. Those are the fuckers who don't necessarily go to college. They can still go, but that indoctrination don't hit them. So a learned guy, you know, he may graduate high school, whatnot, jump into the workforce, and if he wants to learn something, he'll go find it. He'll go find a book. He'll go find a fucking internet page, go read some shit off the Constitution. It don't really fucking matter. Now, the reason I'm really talking about this shit is, like I said, I got into an argument with some people on the internet. You know, I'm all over the place on all types of apps and whatever, small time, big time, you know, whatever. But I'm talking to these guys, and they're trying to basically call me stupid because I didn't go to college. It's like, well, if you don't fucking know about this shit, well, that's probably not what they said. They're like, more like, if you consider yourself smart, you would use the same money, you would use this money to go to like college or some shit and learn about history. Okay, fucker, there are a couple problems with that. So first off, we know colleges are fucking indoctrination houses. That's the first fucking problem. That means any humanities you take will be tainted, and that shit ain't alright. Learning about history, especially from all sides, is something that you need to learn on your own. You taking the facts, you taking those knowledge, and you use your basically experience and who you believe and who you don't believe to really get you a good aggregate on, you know, what the fuck actually happened. You know, you get people out there who I don't understand how, but they believe that communism is a good thing. Like, you don't realize it killed probably around 100 million people. You know, we keep telling you that. The numbers are there. The mass graves are there, right? And then they want to fucking say that China is a communist country and they're so successful, and they don't realize that when they abandoned communism is when they got successful. But hell, that's a whole nother fucking story. Okay, we're not going to go there right now. And that's what I don't fucking get. I got a lot of friends like that. They're like, they got that aura of superiority about them, and that shit is not alright. It's like they forgot where they came from or some shit. You know, it's fucked up, but that's the way I see it. And, you know, what am I supposed to do in that situation? I still love my friends to death, but I don't know if they love me to death. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of conflicted on that, because if some shit pop off, then, you know, am I supposed to protect them even if they shooting back at me? You know, this is worst case scenario thinking, but that's the kind of thinking I gotta do sometimes, you know. And planning for the future is a difficult task. It really is, because you don't know what the fuck can go on. Tomorrow, motherfuckers could try to overthrow the government or whatever, and then I'll have to pick up the fucking AR and get to fucking work. You know what I'm saying? To protect people. But anyway, this topic of this conversation was more on the power, people think, it's probably the best way to put it, people like to think that democracy is 100% fucking golden, like it can do no wrong. But they don't realize that when 51% of the people vote to take 49% of the other people's shit away, that's a fucking problem. All right, so that's what I'm talking about. I'm telling these guys that, hey, looking at it, we may need to raise the voting age, because we got a whole bunch of people who are fresh out of fucking high school, don't know shit about anything, trying to make decisions for like 100 million people and whatnot. And that shit's not okay. If you really think about it, we're supposed to trust people who have no training, no responsibilities to make decisions for hundreds of millions of people. Yeah, that sounds kind of fucking stupid. And that goes into a whole nother argument with the Electoral College. This is what we're getting into. And fuckers are like, well, you know, we need to get rid of it because it gets in the way of the people. Yeah, that's why it's there, asshole. To get in the way of the fucking people. Because people vote for a living and not vote for the best of society. Well, that, and they have conflicting interests with the state. Ideally, we wouldn't have no state. That's the ideal. Perfect. We don't need no fucking central authority to fucking keep shit central, but I guess this is the real world and we need to make some compromises on all that shit, because motherfuckers can't follow something as simple as the non-aggression principle. But we'll go into that later, and that's a whole nother can of worms. But that's what we're sitting at. And just thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it, that's what it gets me to. And I know it's like 2:30 in the motherfucking morning, and I got like a week off from work, so fuck it. You know, I might as well talk about it because this shit really needs to get off my chest. Alright, the deuces, go fuck yourselves or some shit. Bye.